Education and Development.
Good afternoon, Chair and Committee.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve the Education Development and Administration budget as requested for 2022.
Representative Dare made a motion to approve the Education Development and Administration budget. Second. Second, Representative Marshall. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Joyce Deere,
Yes.
James Jennings, Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. Human Resources.
Thank you.
Where's John a sec? Where's HR?
Chairman, I make a motion to postpone Human Resources until 11/29/21.
There a second? Representative Jennings made a motion to postpone Human Resources to 11/29. Seconded by Representative Deere. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
James Jennings,
Yes.
Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Deere.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. Secretary of Community and Human Services.
Good afternoon, Chairman. Good afternoon, Committee.
Good afternoon. Schedule A. Thank you, Speaker. Organizational chart, did we pass it? Did you find where we passed it? Yeah. There is it. Ms. Carmen?
Sir.
I do appreciate you providing an organizational chart, but the organizational chart we were looking for was the one that was approved by the National Council, that was provided from the chief to the National Council for approval. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chair, there was a question on organizational charts this morning. And nobody's seemed to see one yet, but this one hasn't been approved. So due to that fact, I would like to strike the deputy secretary position from this salary plan.
Representative Deere made a motion to strike the deputy secretary position from this proposed salary plan. Is there a second? Second by Representative Jennings. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Joyce Deere,
Yes.
James Jennings,
Yes.
Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. Back to the budget. Entertain a motion on the Community and Human Services budget, please.
Chair, I make a motion to approve this budget, the proposed salary, or the proposed budget for the current salary.
Representative Deere made a motion to approve the Community and Human Services budget at current salary. Second. Second by Representative Marshall. Discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Joyce Deere,
Yes.
James Jennings, Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Chairman, you got 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. Mr. Darnell, could you scroll up, please?
Chairman, I think I need to move down just a little bit more. There's nothing in the proposed FY '22 budget for this, from this fund. There's the indirect budget.
We need Community Research and Development Finance Officer, please. Community Research and Development, excuse me, the Finance Officer portion.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Billy.
Good afternoon.
Ms. Billy, while we have you up here, we're going to cover the Finance Officer, Research and Development, Resource Center.
Okay.
Research and Development, I guess, will be under the Resource Center. All right.
Chair, I make a motion to approve the Community Research and Development Community Finance Officer at the current salary.
Representative Deere made a motion to approve the Community Research and Development Community Finance Officer at current salaries. Or second? Second by Representative Marshall. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Joyce Deere,
Yes.
James Jennings, Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. Next, we're going to go to community research and development.
Okay. Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes, Ms. Billy.
Okay. Basically, what I did with the proposed salaries is I just redirected funds from my budget to hopefully keep it in line with the 2021 budget. The only difference I did was add 15,000 to the project activity. And that was for, to bring the community, all the communities up here for like a fun day, would have food trucks and have tournaments for horseshoe and just have a fun day and invite different departments of the nation to come and show off their resources and everything. So that's what the 15,000 was for. And then the other part of it was the increase from the 14% indirect to the 18% indirect.
Thank you.
Chairman,
President Jennings.
Ms. Billy, do you have both positions filled at Oklahoma City?
I have one more position to fill in Oklahoma City.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Jennings.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Representative Marshall.
Ms. Billy, do I understand this correctly? You have a community relations specialist and your proposed salary is to add one?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Okay. You have two community specialists. One shows where you had a current salary and there's a proposed salary. There's one where there was nothing for the community specialist and then the proposed salary was for 32. So, oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Darnell,
Yes, sir.
could you come forward, please?
Chair, I make a motion to pass this community research and development budget at the current salary.
Representative Deere made a motion to pass the community research and development budget at current salaries. Or second?
Second.
Second by Representative Jennings. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Joyce Deere,
Yes.
James Jennings, Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Chairman, you had 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. The budget passed.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we pass the Muskogee Nation Resource Center at its requested.
Proposed. Representative Marshall made a motion to pass the MCN Resource Centers. Or second? Second by Representative Deere. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Anna Marshall,
Yes.
Mary Crawford, Joyce Deere,
Yes.
James Jennings. Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Social Services.
Good afternoon. So I have 9 budgets in total. I don't know how you want me to address each individually in a certain order. And I do have some concerns with some discrepancies on what I submitted and then what's loaded, that finance has loaded. So I do want to make those clarifications as well.
Thank you. Ms. Honowa, could you come
Yes.
forward for a moment, please?
Okay, so I think we'll do gaming first. And as we're all aware, the salaries are different. Let's see, now I'm out of order. Okay, here it is. Okay, so in gaming, the budgets that submitted to finance to Secretary Carmen, and I believe that she submitted of course, salaries, like I said, but then supplies, fuel purchases, telephone fax, communication other, the emergency hardship assistance, the natural disaster, which is disaster assistance, and then food purchases, which is our food for funeral item. Those amounts are not accurate to what was submitted. And we did increase disaster because, as you know, last year we passed the natural disaster to disaster and increased the assistance amount. So we increased that line item by 125,000. But I think your budget reflects 100,000.
Mr. Darnell, do you have that?
Just for clarification, finance doesn't enter the budget. What's in Munis is entered by the program, so I'm not sure about the difference.
Which would have been what we entered into Munis. Yes.
There's a difference between what you entered into.
And what's showing up now, yes.
Oh, I haven't seen.
So do you have a CEBA for this?
Program number.
It's 1100. Oh, 130001.
On my screen.
Thank you.
It's what we entered. Oh, that changed the amounts.
No, they just put her.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Clay just told me that what he gives you all to look at is fiscal year 21 expenditures. And what I just explained to
On the
you
CEBA,
was for
yes.
fiscal year 22.
Gotcha.
So
Yes.
there's where the difference is, and I'm
Yes.
just speaking to fiscal year 22.
That's fine. Yes, the CEBA, yes, is for your 2021 expenditures.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Darnell, could you come forward, please?
said he was going to look into it, but he never gave me an answer. Right there.
Chairman,
Representative Jennings.
thank you. I'd like to make a motion to postpone the social services budget until we have a meeting and with the controller and the department to make sure they're getting what they're asking for. These are programs that are needed at the nation, and so I'd like to see it, make sure that everything is in order before we go any further with this budget. Thank you.
Can we tentatively schedule it for the 29th?
That'll be fine.
Mr. Darnell? Ms. Honowa?
Yes.
Thank you. Representative Jennings? Motion.
Motion to postpone till the 29th.
Representative Jennings has made a motion to postpone social services until the 29th of November, seconded by Representative Deere. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
James Jennings,
Yes.
Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Deere.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed.
Thank you, committee.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Honowa Tanif's next. You want to address?
Okay. TANF, as you know, is all federal. We have to stay within the budgeted amount. So any revisions, any adjustments, we still have to adjust our amount and within the total grant amount. So the fiscal year 22 budget is for $3,114,662.
Representative Jennings.
Motion to approve.
Representative Jennings made a motion to approve TANF budget, second by Representative Marshall. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
James Jennings,
Yes.
Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Deere.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Child care.
Good evening.
How are you?
Doing wonderfully, thank you.
Child care. Mr. Darnell, come forward, please.
Looks like no.
Yes.
Community childcare. I think you get back here.
Representative Jennings.
Motion to approve.
Representative Jennings made a motion to approve childcare. Second by Representative Deere. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
James Jennings,
Yes.
Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Deere.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, everybody's current level. Remember, no raises.
Yours is just this budget.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Chair, I make a motion to do pass the proposed salary at the current salary rate on the CFSA budget.
Representative Deere made a motion to approve the CFSA budget at current salaries. Is there a second? Second by Representative Crawford. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Joyce Deere,
Yes.
James Jennings, Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. Family violence and prevention. Ms. Partridge, could you come forward, please? Here's what we've received.
Chair, if I, oh my goodness.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't mean to blow you guys up like that. Okay, if I can, because we have several budgets, and so to try to make it as easy as possible, I would like to start with the gaming. I will say that I too, Mr. Darnell, I had discrepancies. Mr. Darnell, we also had discrepancies from what we entered in and what is showing on Munis. And I think I found a couple of spots where I think last year's and our current were combined, and it came up with the total. So I'm not sure what may have happened there, but so with our tribal budget, I have, as you can see, requested quite a substantial increase. The reason being is that since the ruling, our program has experienced a very substantial increase. We have just this year, so far since September, received over $20 million in grants. Not all of those are before you today, so we're very thankful for that funding. I need additional staff to help me oversee and implement all of the federal funding that we are being awarded. And that funding is really in large part due to the ruling. And so I have added, I think the amount that you may have before you was $487,853. What I entered in our budget was $484,844. So the difference in supplies on Munis, it's showing $3,701, but I budgeted $2,400. In under telephone and fax, under Munis, it's showing $123. I budgeted $615 since we're adding staff.
Ms. Partridge, could you come forward again, please?
Yes. Okay, so back to the tribal budget. Again, the amount I've requested is $484,844. I am proposing to add an assistant director. Reason being, right now, I am the only staff member. I'm not even 100% tribally funded anymore. I'm 95% tribal and 5% BIA self-governance. And so that is not enough staff. I need more than just me to help oversee implementation of all of these federal funds. So additionally, when you have so much federal funding, for example, our receptionist right now has been paid out of our primary domestic violence grant. Well, now, I mean, we serve victims of all crimes. I can't have a receptionist that's being paid out of domestic violence funds, that's answering phone calls and helping people that are victims of all other types of crimes. So that's why I need her. I need our office manager because, again, we have those 9 sources of funding. Yes, you can split people with grants, but I don't want my office manager to spend more time tracking what grant she's working on. I want her to be able to focus on working on what she needs to. So if we tried to split her 9 ways with federal grants, it would be a nightmare. So that's why I'm proposing to move these positions. The assistant director position would be brand new. The manager position would be brand new. The office manager is already there. We've got her split right now with federal funds and tribal dollars, and I want her solely tribal. Same with our receptionist. And again, we've got over $20 million in funding that we have received. We have worked our tails off in writing grants, and now I need additional staff to help me be able to implement these. And it's too much for just me. We are dealing with crises day after day. Our office, I know we hear a lot about the court, the Office of Attorney General, Lighthorse. Our office has seen a significant increase in the number of victims that we're serving. And so we have 5 positions open right now. We have another 9 to hopefully add before the end of the year or first of the new year. So we're growing, and we're gonna grow rapidly. So that's why, and historically, this program didn't start receiving any tribal dollars until 2013. I think that budget was like 190,000, and slowly every year we've brought it back. And we use federal funds when we can. We use federal first when we can. So I know that this is a large increase, but I assure you our program needs it. So if there's any questions about that, clearly, the proposed salary, when we were talking with Secretary Carmen and leadership, I know for myself in serving in the acting role, there's disparity in a lot of the managers' salaries. And so, I've been here a long time. I have a master's degree. I've received 1 raise since I've had this position in 2012. And so that was the proposed salary that you see. If we go back to a 6% increase, whatever you guys feel is appropriate. But I'm happy to answer any questions. I know I see Representative Deere has an organizational chart. That is a most recent one. That is not reflective of all the additional positions that we are adding, that we currently have posted. It has not been updated. Right now we have 15 staff. Like I said, we do have 5 positions open currently. We have 9 more in addition to the 5 we've got open now that we've proposed with a source of funding that, again, we're hopeful to have advertised before the end of the year. Space is an issue for us like everybody else. So definitely something we're having to take into consideration when it comes to positions.
Ms. Partridge,
Yes.
you have had an organizational chart before.
I'm sorry?
You have had an organizational chart before.
Yes, we have an organizational chart. I think is it in that I thought I saw
You
one.
just got through saying it's not approved.
Yeah, I
It's not
apologize, but
updated.
I never knew that organizational charts needed to be approved by the National Council. This is the first time I've, especially in a budget meeting, I think that we've ever even talked about organizational charts, at least since I've been participating in budget hearings.
Reason that is because it should have been done within the first 90 days that the principal chief was in office. That's when those are done.
Got it. So let me ask you, when we add new positions then, and they're included on Schedule A's in the budgets, that's approving those positions, right? That we're then adding on organizational charts?
When the principal chief brings that to the national council, yes, that's what we'd be approving. Everything that's in that chart, organizational chart, is what he brings to the national council for approval.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Chair, I make a motion to approve this budget for the Family Violence Prevention Tribal budget, but to move the 2 vacant position proposed salaries over to the current salary positions.
Representative Deere made a motion to approve the Family Violence Prevention Tribal budget, current salary, and to move the proposed salary for the 2 vacant positions, the assistant director and the manager, over to the current salary line item. Is there a second? Second by Representative Marshall. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Joyce Deere,
Yes.
James Jennings, Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. Ms. Partridge.
Yes. Next, at the top, you should have a BIA self-governance. We get $73,000 allocated annually. We have been using for the last couple of years this money to offset. We split staff, again, who are funded under one grant, which is solely for domestic violence. We've been splitting staff with these funds so that they can respond to sexual assaults. We have the sexual assault nurse examiner program at the Mulkey and Okemah hospitals. That program is staying very, very busy. So our staff are responding all hours of the day and night. So this BIA budget, now what I will say, Mr. Darnell, that we noticed, what's on Munis is 68,000. The total is 68,857. But unless our annual allocation has changed from BIA, it should be 73,000. And so, what we saw was under the project activity in Munis, it says 4,778, and that should be 12,163. Yeah, I've made notes. So, again, annual award. We use it to split staff. We do move stuff in project activity. One of the things we do is we've had high-risk team meeting with AG's office, Lighthorse, our program where we're staffing cases. I got approval to purchase lunch because we're doing it during our lunch hour. We've done that one time. We've participated in some parades. So that project activity line, we just kind of use that for outreach, just various needs. So I think that one is, unless there's any questions, that one's pretty easy peasy. I can go on to another federal one if it would be helpful. Okay, so let me see here. Let's do. You have a TSASP?
This one?
FEPP, it says it's GTTG, Grants to Tribal Governments. So that award, our budget on that we had submitted was 800. Initially, the budget that you have, I believe, may say 899, 969. Well, since we submitted this budget, we got our award, and it was $31 more, so it was a flat 900,000. That grant, this funding actually will not start until next March. We provide legal assistance to victims under this grant. We have a project coordinator and a victim advocate. The victim advocate position right now is vacant. We pay for legal assistance. We contract for a full-time attorney. So again, that award, it may show for you $899, $969, but we were actually awarded a $900,000. Legal assistance is one of the most requested services that we provide. So we assist victims and survivors with protective orders, custody, divorce. So that funding is very important. Yes, so on this OVC 21, the budget we submitted was actually 1.5 million. It came back, we were awarded $4,156,528. So I believe, Chairman, that there were 3 pieces of legislation that were sent over for that one. For VOCA and for grants to tribal governments. And they didn't end up on this last session on the agenda. So I know we don't want to double dip here. So I think you guys have legislation at your office to expend these funds. And then also if we're looking at including them in the CAB. So what I will say on that OVC, the one that was $1 million, and we actually got awarded $4 million, we do not have a budget yet on that because we're waiting to do strategic planning with Lighthorse, with AG's office, with some of the other victim service programs. So I'm totally fine if we just forget we got that one today.
Thank you.
And we got more budgets here I could go through, but we're all tired. No, just kidding.
Motion to approve.
Representative Jennings made a motion to approve the rest of the family violence budget. Second by Representative Deere. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
James Jennings,
Yes.
Anna Marshall, Joyce Deere,
Yes.
Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That budget passed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Youth Services. How are you? Yours isn't on either, I don't think, is it? Maybe, maybe not.
Now I am.
There we
Is that
go.
good? Yeah. I also have some discrepancies that I wanted to point out if you're looking at the gaming budget first. And mine looks like that, if that helps. What I'm referring to, do you have that now? I'll just go ahead and give the couple of changes. On this one, it's showing a part-time salary and fringe. We currently have a part-time position, but with the new proposal, I've actually proposed to move that to a full-time. So that would eliminate both of those lines for the part-time salary and fringe. And also our fuel purchases is should only be $750.
Ms. Mason, will you hold on one moment? Mr. Darnell, do you have the CBO for this?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You can continue, Ms. Mason.
Okay, and then the last change is zeroing out the line for the utilities. My understanding is they're going to move that money to facilities, and then facilities will be responsible for paying our utilities at our offsite building. So that would actually bring our overall total to $708,919, which would be about $62,000 more than what we have currently in our budget. We've asked for one new position for our program. We're asking for a youth council coordinator. It's just been apparent to us over the last couple of years and in tracking our time that position requires a full-time person to be able to do the work in coordinating events with the young people, as well as we've been doing some one-on-one mentoring with our youth, especially over the pandemic. And so that required additional, I think I put in my information here, it averaged out to be about 32 extra hours a week that our staff were working in providing some additional services to our youth council members. So that's a full-time position.
Ms. Mason,
Yes.
you said both of those positions are new and they're full-time?
So we have currently a one part-time position that we're hoping to move to full-time. So that's a current position, just moving it to full-time. We're going to be splitting the hours between our youth services line and our pageant because that program additionally requires some additional like social media, design, graphics, things like that. So that would be split. So the only brand new position would be the youth council coordinator.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And I think as I looked at that too, our additional ask basically is the salary and fringe for the new person, a new computer that they would have to get started up, and And like I said, that difference is $62,086 from last year that we're asking for.
Chairman.
Representative Jennings.
Ms. Mason, I asked this earlier about the offsite storage. Are you going to be able to use that?
We're hoping to keep our storage because it's actually right beside our building, which makes it super convenient. Actually, when we moved over there, the storage that we have is cheaper than the rent that we were paying. Well, the rent and storage is cheaper than the rent we were paying at our last location. So it's been kind of a bonus that we didn't have to go up. We were able to stay within that amount that was allotted for our rent previously.
Yeah. Well, I know that they were providing storage service at the RPI property out there, so that's why I was asking.
Yes, yeah, it's still budgeted in there, and I know they discussed that, but we weren't directed to take that out of our budget at this point, so finger crossing, staying where I'm at.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Yes.
Thank you, Representative Jennings.
Chair, I make motion to approve this budget for youth services.
Proposed.
Yes.
Representative Deere made a motion to approve the proposed budget for youth services. Is there a second? Second, Representative Jennings. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Joyce Deere,
Yes.
James Jennings, Anna Marshall, Mary Crawford.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. The next item on the agenda will be senior services.
Good afternoon. I do have a copy of the next year, current year budget analysis, which does reflect our budget entry for 2022, as well as the budget for 2021, if you would like a copy. However, I only have 5 copies.
Please, thank you.
Thank you.
If you notice on the far right is the 22 projected budget, and it does reflect what is listed on our Schedule A. And the budget that we're currently looking at is the senior services. The sub-department or the budget number is 130003. The sub-department is 000. If you had a chance to review the Schedule A, it does reflect salary increases. And it also reflects changing our part-time senior service maintenance worker from a part-time position to a full-time position, as well as adding a new program elder advocate manager. It appears that after the COVID ruling and the McGirt ruling and the COVID-19 pandemic, it appears that our caseload has increased to the point that we are dealing with very complicated cases, and our workers are having to provide a myriad of services for individuals with really complicated issues. Currently, I am the only person that has been managing both the elder services, senior services, and adult protective services. So as far as the elder advocacy, we'd like to hire a manager for this group of workers to ensure that services are continued in a timely manner and that all of our clientele would be served timely.
Ms. Fish, on the proposed salaries,
Yes.
how did you come about with those figures?
We were looking at job comparisons with job-related duties by other departments, and our workers are very underpaid, and we'd like it to be comparable with the job market of other departments as well as out in the communities.
So it's not by a percentage or their seniority or their
No,
work
it's
ethic?
not. It's just looking at what the job market has offered in similar positions, and also to bring them up to a certain level, so that, you know, currently a lot of our workers are below poverty level, and it would just bring them up to a certain level.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Darnell?
I just need some clarification because the numbers on the Schedule A's that I have just received don't match what's in Munis.
The information that I have submitted is what was uploaded to the Munis system, and I just made copies of that. If you'd like a copy of what I have, I would certainly be glad to provide it for you. But it's as an attachment to the Munis system.
For example, in Munis, here you have your salaries and wages at 535,000 right here, and you have 461,000 on the Schedule A. So I don't have a total budget. Yep. The 2022.
Chairman, after visiting with Mr. Darnell, there is some significant discrepancies. We'd like to postpone our budget until maybe the next budget hearing.
With that, we'll postpone it to, excuse me, November 29th.
Yes.
Entertain a motion from the committee. Representative Marshall made a motion to postpone senior services until November 29th. Second by Representative Deere. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Hannah Marshall, Mary Crawford,
Yes.
Joyce Deere,
Yes.
James Jennings. Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor, 0 against. That motion passed. Oh, man. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this time, we have remaining food distribution, early nutrition, WIC, tribal juvenile justice, CHR tribal, as well as veterans. And we will ask you all to come back in the morning at 10 o'clock, and we will start off with you all in this order. Thank you. Next item on the agenda will be other business. We have any other business? Entertain a motion to adjourn. Excuse me, announcements. We have any announcements from council? Entertain a motion to adjourn. Representative Marshall made a motion to adjourn. Second by Representative Deere. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. I'd like to ask Representative Jennings, please give the benediction.
Let us pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you in prayer this evening, giving you all the praise, glory, and honor. Father, we ask that you would continue to be with us as we conduct the business of the nation. Father, we ask for traveling grace as we go to our homes. Father, we ask you to be with those that are sick. Be with those that are taking care of them. Be with those that have lost loved ones. Father, we pray and we ask all things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Meeting adjourned. 4:43.